Hello, how are you guys? This is Gail Gentry. Uh, a member of the Laptop Lifestyle Freedom Tribe Leadership Council, and I'm coming at you today in the group Laptop Lifestyle Freedom Tribe, members of the Super Affiliate Network. And I'm here to talk today about Tipsy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, and I'm tipsy, and I'm giving you some tips. And today's tip is the title of this webinar, or title of this broadcast is, if you're talking to everyone, you are talking to no one. So I'm sure you've heard that most of us come from the MLM background. And when you talk to everyone, you are talking to no one. So the trick is to figure out who it is that you are talking to and to speak to that individual directly and not to try to speak to everyone. You've heard that term before. You can't be all things to all people. And certainly in your online business and in any business, really, you have to be very focused on who your target is, who your audience is, and you speak to that person individually. I just started this master class with Keisha Bass, and the first thing she talked about was your avatar. That's what she called it, your avatar. Who are you speaking to? Who are you looking to serve? So when you come in looking to serve, looking to make impact on a particular group, guess what? Your message is much clearer. So here are some of the things that you can use to determine who is it exactly that you are speaking to. So if you see me looking down, that's because I'm looking at my notes. I don't want to miss anything. I want you to get everything. So one of the big things to help you figure out who it is that you're going to speak to is, look at the similarities. I mean, are you a young mother or a single mother, trying to make it online? Are you a dad that's, spending all your life at work and you like to spend more time with your kids? Are you somebody like me, a middle-aged baby boomer that's nearing retirement, doesn't quite have the retirement fund that I thought that I would have? So you want to speak to the person that is nearest and dearest to your heart. And more than likely, that person may look a lot like you look. If you're I'm 56, if you're a 56-year-old, yeah, you can relate to millennials and all that. But a lot of stuff you can't relate to them. I mean, your music is different, just for an example, it's like, okay, you go to a millennial's office and everybody's sitting on the floor. I'm like, wait, where's the wingtip chair with the oxblood leather seats? Okay, I'm looking for comfort. I ain't trying to sit on nobody's floor, cross-leg and all that other stuff, and we sit in some communal space. It's like, no, where is my office, all right? So who is it that you are speaking to? Because when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. And these are some tips that help you determine who it is that you're speaking to, who your avatar is. So first thing you want to do is, again, they probably look something like you. So you want to name your person. What's your person's name? I haven't come up with a name for my person yet. What gender is that person? Are you talking to men? Are you talking to women? Are you talking to both groups? And this is for you to determine. Nobody will pick your avatar for you. You know what moves you and what is directing you in your spirit and who you feel like you can serve. And that's the group that you want to go to. So is it middle-aged women like myself, young single moms, young women, period, whether they're a mom or not, middle-aged dads, kids about to go to college, that sort of thing. And then, of course, what age range? So like I said, gender is great. What sex are they? Are they male or female or both? But what age range are you looking at? Me, I'm looking at an age range of about 50 upwards. I'm 56, so I'm looking at an age range for like 50 to like 65, because I'm talking to people that are nearing retirement, and you got 15 years, quote unquote, to work in the traditional space. And these days, more and more work is getting like piecework, meaning that, you get paid for the job that you do, not paid for your time. I mean, it's going more and more that way, even in large corporations. I was in the entertainment insurance industry for years, and you had certain tasks that were done to help you what they call underwriter risk, right? So you had your loss control people, you had your claims adjusters, you had your forensic, accountants, all these different folks. Well, now they start to outsource a lot of that. Like, they use these large companies, they'll use an independent, large loss control service, or even an independent loss control guy that's not actually on the payroll. They'll use independent loss adjusters. Why is that? Because it's a heck of a lot cheaper to hire somebody to go do a job and 1099 them versus them being on payroll and now you got to pay for their benefits, you got to give them sick pay, all of these different things. So a lot of stuff is going toward piecework. So if you're in my age range, you're kind of like, oh my God, what am I, I need to do something differently. I can't just depend on the company. So that's why I chose that age range. So, you have to look at what age range are you shooting for? If you're a younger person, and you're in your early 20s or whatever, you may be looking at other, early 20-year-olds up to like 40 or whatever, so that age range. And then what is their income level? What kind of income are you talking about? I mean, I was making six figures, so I'm looking at, 6-figure plus, income earner, because that's more in line with what I've done, of who I am. So you got to ask yourself who you are, or, if it's a different income level than what you're at, you have to be able to relate to these folks, right? So, what income level are you looking at? You looking at, if you're a younger person, you might be looking at somebody up to the $70,000 range. If you're, just out of college and you're, in your late 20s, early 30s, you may be looking at more like, 60 to 70,000, somewhere around there, because you're just out of college, just getting your career going. If you are working in now, if you're totally, an entrepreneur, sky's the limit, right? And income levels, what you say. And then, do they have children or no children? What age range? Now, me, I'm a middle-aged, like I said, middle-aged, worked in the office most of my life, and I have no children, okay? No children. Ain't trying to have no children. So I'm not looking at, I'm not targeting necessarily a woman my age that has children or grandchildren. Now, that's a little unusual. A lot of women do have that. So obviously, I can't be can't cut them off, because that's a huge demographic, right? But, if you don't have children, or if you have small children, like one of our ladies, she calls herself the Tyler mom. She says, changing her brand, what age range, and then again, if you're in my age range, more than likely you have grandchildren, and some may even have great grandchildren, and you may be doing a cross-generational thing. So how many children they have, or, do they have children in their age range, right? And then, we even talked about, even more specifically, like what type of TV shows are they watching? I'm targeting, middle-aged women and middle-aged, not actually women, middle-aged people nearing retirement. So that's men and women. I'm not just doing women. I'm, targeting men and women. So, I'm looking at some of the TV shows I watch. I watch like Forensic Files, Homeland, espionage. I like that kind of stuff, historical stuff, and, and then other stuff that they're watching, like, Hallmark Channel and A&E, Travel Channel, that sort of stuff. So it's like, okay, what kind of TV shows are they watching? Because, the more specific you are, you want to be broad, you don't want to be so specific that, it's like two people in the population, right? But you don't want to be so broad that it's like 80% of the population, because it's going to be, the target's just going to be too big, right? So you want to focus it in, hone it in pretty good, because what does that do for you when you have that going on? What that does for you, it helps streamline your message. Like when I do my AM, PM emails, before I was, thinking along the lines of being somebody middle-aged, somebody looking to fire their boss, somebody looking to control their time, somebody, just so sick and tired of that life-sucking job that they may have, and, looking for ways to get out of it. So I gear my email toward that. I talk a lot about, when I'm sending out my email, I talk a lot about, this doesn't have to be it for you. You don't have to be stuck at this life-sucking job. Look, you've been saying that you're going to change, that you're going to do something different forever. Now is the time. This is the perfect time to do it, and here's the system. And then I'll say, do a little cliffhanger and say, enough about that later. I'll tell you, later about how you can get out. And then, of course, the PM email piggybacks off the AM email and says something along the lines, hey, we talked about, that life-sucking job this morning. Here's a way out, and I'll even title it, hey, here's a way out. Or something like that. Because I'm thinking about that middle-aged person that's like, oh my God, here I am stuck at this job. I'd love to be with my grandkids, or I'd love to be, with my spouse. I'd love to be with my kids. I'd love to be doing, traveling the world, and I'm stuck at this life-sucking job. I'm working 80 hours a week. Well, I'm exaggerating. I'm working 60 hours a week. And if you're working like that and you're my age range, right, it's real tough to have a side business, because you just don't have the energy like you did when you were 25. So you have to really be determined. So my email, focuses in on that and encourages them and reassures them, hey, you are on the right path. You can do this. You have what it takes. That kind of stuff. And for real, because I'm talking to myself, right? I'm telling myself that. I mean, I'm not working right now. I'm actually, and I don't plan on going back to work, right? At least not a job. I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm an online marketing professional now, but I got laid off my job and, was in the process of being laid off my job. And then 2 months later was diagnosed with a potentially terminal illness, which I've since recovered from the illness, thank God, by the grace of God. And it's like, wow, this turned out to be the best thing that could have happened to me. So I feel those people that are still stuck at those jobs and they're trying to figure out, how can I do something else that can produce the income that I'm looking for? You need a six-figure income. You ain't trying to give up no six-figure income, okay? But you need to figure out a way to replace that. And, and I could speak to that because I was there. I feel you, so to speak. So, who can you impact and who are you trying to impact? Another lady I was talking to, she's low income, had worked low income forever and then was on welfare, had a number of kids. And she, has a nonprofit organization, and her focus is to help other ladies in that predicament get free from that. So she has a built-in, audience and a group of people that she can seriously impact. So who are you trying to impact? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Who are you trying to impact? Because that will determine who it is that you're speaking to. And when you start speaking to that person, your business will blow up. Okay. When you stop speaking to everyone and speak to that person that you are designed for, your business will blow up. Trust me. You've seen it around, some other people. You hear, just use Keisha Bass as an example. Keisha says, I'm here to, help moms, women and moms, fire their boss, retire the daycare, and have the life of their dreams in their online business or something along those lines. And guess what? Here we on this masterclass, and who's on the masterclass? All women, right? 30 women on that class. So she, her message is getting through. Now, does she only attract women? No. I mean, we got Zach Shahid in the group. We got Sean Superdoer in the group. We got Marvin Sykes in the group. So we're not just, we got Ryan Baban in the group. I mean, she's not just attracting women, but her message is very focused on women. And these other folks, like Zach says, you know what, you're going to help mothers and moms and me and this guy. That's what he always says, and this guy. So even though she's focused on that, other folks have joined her. Why? Because she's so sincere in that message, right? So when you're sincere in your message, and when you are sincere in who you're trying to help, who you're trying to impact, guess what? The business will take care of itself. So there you go. That's all I got. Hope you guys got something out of this today. Go out there, be good to yourself, be good to somebody else. Go out there, help somebody today. Guess what? You can't keep it unless you give it away. So give it away.